guys, welcome back to Faith for Freight. Now, I know what I said, in case you're wondering. I know what I said. I told you guys I'll see you in 60 to 90 days. Well, it hasn't been that long. But if you guys know me, then you know I don't think I can go that long without making a video, because I enjoy making the videos. Even if, you know, most people don't enjoy watching the videos, I still enjoy making them. And so I'm back, for better or worse. I'm back for another one. This one, this is what I call Route 33. This consists of, well, it's supposed to consist of my Wednesday through Friday work week. Like each week, it's supposed to take 3 days to get this route done. I'm gonna try to keep the talking to a minimum in this opening clip, because I know you guys can't see anything, but basically this is a South Carolina, North Carolina route running along the I-20 East Corridor until I get to Columbia, South Carolina. After I hit all my stops in Columbia, I'm gonna be getting off the interstate and taking highways, South Carolina highways. And well, I'll get more into the details of the route itself when we get to that point, but I just wanted to open the video up here. I wanted to say hello, welcome back to Faith for Freight. Good morning. Started my day at about 2. Started my clock at about 2, a little after 2 this morning. Currently heading east on I-20, about to roll through Conyers and Covington. And yeah, I will see you guys in a bit. It's probably still going to be dark though when I get back with you. But other than that, welcome. I gotta get this. Guys. JB Hunt in the left lane. That's not a JB Hunt driver. That's a contractor right there. In the left lane with his left turn signal stuck on. My truck is governed at 71. Keep that in mind. These guys are leaving me in the dust as we roll through Conyers here. Okay, making a quick pit stop in Madison, Georgia at the TA, because I've got to get some protein and some caffeine. So taking the exit for 441, headed to the TA, making pretty decent time. Looks like I'm gonna arrive at my first stop, which is in Augusta, at about 4:45. Timing is everything today. I've got this first stop in Augusta. I've got one in what's known as Martinez, Georgia, which I had never heard of. It's actually right next to Augusta. And then I'm gonna be heading to Columbia. Like I said, I've got 8 in Columbia. I need to get all 8 of those done before my 14 hours is up. As long as I can do that, it's gonna put me in a good place for an early start tomorrow morning, which is what I need. Now, I don't know if I said this already, but I've got 25 stops. And so what I need to do is get those, like all those stops done by the end of Friday. That's what I need. Ultimately, that's what I need. Because I do not want to work on Saturday. I've had to work the last 2 Saturdays I've had to work, so I'm trying to prevent that from happening for a third week in a row. First stop in Colombia is a big one. I'm going to show you guys what I got to do when I get to Colombia. It's going to be a strenuous task, but if it's raining, then it's going to be even worse, and it's going to take even longer to do it. And you guys will see why when I show you what I gotta do, but it's pretty insane. It's probably the hardest, like, speaking in physical terms, like as far as the physical work goes with the unloading, it's probably my most difficult stop out of every stop that I do. It's definitely up there with like the top 5. But it might be the most difficult one, just depending on how much stuff they get. But I'll talk about that later on. Okay, this is our exit right here. I gotta stop yawning, like right now. Stop it. No more yawning. I'm gonna open up the trailer quickly and show you guys what it looks like back there. Basically, I think I already said this, but it's 25 stops. It's 30,000 pounds, and I've got 3 days to get it all off the trailer and then get back to Atlanta by the end of Friday. So what does 30,000 pounds of baking products look like on a 45-foot trailer? Well, you're about to see how much stuff it is. Place snuck up on me. Like I said, I'm running kind of early. I figured somebody would be here. Okay, guys, stop yawning. Okay, I'm not 100% convinced that anybody's here right now, but I'm gonna go pull their stuff off the trailer. Anyways, I'm sorry it's so dark. Here's what 30,000 pounds looks like. This is just the dry stuff. This is stop 1 and 2. Stop 3. All these bags of flour. I'm gonna have to unload these 2 pallets off by hand. So everything on this truck to that blue pad back there, that's all dry stuff. And then on the other side of the blue pad, there's probably about 4 pallets of frozen stuff. Three days to get it all off. You ready? Let's do it. Hey guys, can you see my face now? I'm at stop 2 and there's nobody here. I am running a bit early. As far as I know, this guy comes in at 6 o'clock. So I tried calling him, his phone's turned off. Tried calling the sales rep, he's not answering. Because it's like 5:30 in the morning. In fact, the last time I came here, I was late. And apparently the guy had come in at 6 o'clock, expected me to be here at 6. But I didn't get here until like 9 or 10 in the morning. And when I got here, he was kind of frustrated. He's like, I guess you're not an early riser, are you? And I was like, well, you know, if I could start that early on this route, it would help a lot. So I would like to start that early. I would love to get here at 6 in the morning. But my shift from the previous day has everything to do with the dictation of what time I can start today, if that makes any sense. Because I have to take a 10-hour break. And average people don't understand how the hours of service stuff works. They don't get it. They never will. I mean, and why would you want to if it doesn't pertain to you, if it doesn't have to do with the fact that you could or could not get in big trouble if you violate your hours of service? If you don't have to deal with that kind of stuff, why would you care? But I do, so that's why. But I'm actually here early this morning. There's nobody here. I'm gonna take this time to familiarize you guys with how things work, because I didn't really do that on my last video. And I know it's dark, and I'm sorry, it might be kind of hard to see. I'm gonna show you guys. You know how I was telling you, let me take this off so you can see me. But you know, you guys know how I was telling you that I have frozen stuff in the front of the trailer, and I have a little side door. I'm going to show you how that works real quick while I have the chance to do so. I mean, you've seen me take stuff, the dry stuff, off the back, but I haven't really shown you the front of the trailer and how I have access to that. It's convenient, but it's still kind of a pain in the butt, especially if a place is getting a lot of frozen stuff, because in those cases I actually have to climb in to the freezer and pull it out. I have a ladder. I'll show you what I mean. Turns out this guy, he's actually getting 1 case of frozen, so I have to climb up there and get it. All right, so anyway, side door. Access to frozen stuff. I got a ladder right here. So I climb up in there. I find they usually have things sorted out, like laid out in the order of the stops. So his stuff is going to be somewhere on top of this pallet right here when it comes time to pull it off. There's the insulated pad right there that you can see on the backside. But yeah, you gotta keep this door shut as much as possible, or the frozen stuff will actually thaw out. This is gonna get really loud here, but this is the reefer control. So you can actually adjust the temperature of the reefer. Like that. Keep it on 0. It usually runs above what I have it set at, and it's just because the trailer is refurbished, so it's not the greatest trailer. It's actually in pretty bad shape. The door on the back of it is messed up, and it's really hard to open and close that door. It shouldn't be as hard as it is, but it's actually extremely difficult to open and close the door and I'm opening and closing it about 40 times per day, actually, on average, give or take. This is my tank for the reefer, which I gotta go get fuel when I get to Columbia. Actually, at the end of the day, I'm gonna go get fuel for when I start heading to the coast. I'm actually gonna go to Myrtle Beach tomorrow, if everything works out. But yep, I mean, that's the gist of it, more or less. Showing you guys the electric pallet jack, the hand trucks, and all the crap that's on the trailer. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit and let you know what happened at stop 2. So some people, they're driving down the road, they don't even know how to look at what's in front of them. Yeah, I'm literally parked on the side of the road right now, on a busy highway. So sorry, I know that wasn't showing you very much. I was trying to get a time lapse of me offloading these pallets and taking them into that store, but I mean, you get the point. Like, you saw where I was taking them in. Hopefully you saw it. I know it's kind of short, but 90 bags of flour. That's about 4,600 pounds that I need to move in the next 45 minutes or so. I'm halfway there. I just got to finish now. There you go, guys. That one's done. I got to get out of here, though. I got to keep moving. That was my morning warm-up. We're just getting started. You can always tell the drivers that are only looking about 5 feet in front of their vehicle while they're driving down the road at like 65 miles an hour. You can always spot those drivers, because as soon as they come up on something that's about 15 feet in front of them and they don't see it because they're not even looking 15 feet in front of their vehicle, they flip out. And somebody did that to me when I got here earlier, because they weren't looking, you know, in front of them. And I just want to give you some advice. I know it's a bad habit, especially if you're in a passenger vehicle and you're not that high off the ground. It's a bad habit to stare at the road directly in front of your vehicle, but you actually want to scan far and wide. So you want to look at the stuff that's 5 feet in front of you, but you also want to make sure that you're looking at what's ahead of you, at least, you know, I'd say as far down the road as you can see, but at least a 1/10 of a mile, and then you won't have any surprises. But basically, I just had somebody lay on their horn at me because I was parked right here in the street, and you know, I really don't have anywhere else to park. Yeah, I could back into that parking lot, but the thing is, I'm gonna be backing into that parking lot on my blind side, and you guys see how busy this highway is right here. I've done it before, but see, I had a vehicle coming from, like, this SUV coming that direction, actually veer around me as I was backing in, and they went into that lane over there, which is absolutely stupid, because I'm blocking your view. You're not going to be able to see if there's any oncoming cars. Not only that, once I hit a certain angle, my tractor and my trailer, I'm going to have to swing my tractor out back in front of my trailer, and I'm going to end up, you know, having to straighten up. So as I get, you know, to a certain point, get the back of my trailer to a certain point, I'm going to have to straighten my tractor back out, which means I'm going to need that room that you're using to pass me. And if, you know, if you pass me at the wrong time, you're going to end up slamming into the side of my tractor. So I just told myself, you know, it's not worth it. Yeah, it is more convenient to back the truck into that place, but it's not worth it because it's so dangerous. Because, you know, instead of the cars stopping briefly to let you back in, just give you a chance to back in, they'll actually try to pass you because they have no patience whatsoever. And, you know, when that happens, like I said, it can create a extremely dangerous situation, potentially. That's all I'm saying. So it's not really, I don't really have a choice. I have to park on the side of the road back there to make that delivery. And, you know, just because one person that's not looking in front of them doesn't see me and they get startled because they realize they're not looking at what's in front of their vehicle and they almost run into me, you know, that's not going to change the fact that I still have to park there on the road. So, you know, the good thing about it is I've never been in a situation where I've had, you know, the cops show up telling me that I have to move or anything like that. Normally when the police see me, which they do, they see me all the time, and they look to scope out the situation to try to find out why the heck I'm sitting in the road. But then they see the lift gate, they see pallets, they see me working, and they leave me alone. They just let me do my job. It would probably help if I got some cones, but my company doesn't provide any cones, so I don't have any cones to use. Otherwise I'd use them, because I agree that would definitely, you know, because instead of somebody hitting me, they would hit the cones, and that's a better situation. It's a dangerous job. I've almost got hit by a car delivering in downtown Columbia. First time I did this route, and they purposely tried to run me over because I had my truck parked on the side of the street like that, and I was walking down the curb to get in front, like around to the front of my truck to get back over here to the driver door so I could get in. So instead of walking, you know, in the other lane on the up the driver's side of the truck, I walked on the sidewalk side, and I came around the front, and I stuck my head out to see if there were any cars coming. I didn't see any cars coming. So then I stepped out just a little bit. I slowly stepped out just a little bit, and then a car came out from behind the truck that I didn't see. And so I stopped and was starting to back up, but as I was backing up, they were actually trying to veer into me. Like they were literally trying to run me over. And that, you know, I get that people don't like trucks. I understand. I know why you don't like them. But if you can't look past that reason that yes, trucks are big, they take up space, they're slow, but they're also necessary. If you can't understand that trucks are needed and necessary if you want this country to function properly, then I don't know. Stop buying stuff. That's all I can tell you. If you don't like trucks, stop buying stuff. Like right away. Immediately stop buying stuff. And then that'll get rid of the trucks. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm not trying to sound like a smart aleck. But I mean, seriously, if there are people out there that want no more trucks on the road, stop buying stuff. And we'll try to get the trucks off the road. Only problem is I don't think that's ever going to happen. So there you go. You're stuck with the trucks. You don't have to like it, but you can at least have some decency and not try to run truck drivers over when you see them trying to get into their trucks. You know, that's all I'm saying. This next place, it's a pallet drop. And it'll be a quick and easy in and out. Should be. This will be stop number 4. The timing right now is not real great, and now I've got the guy that I had to pass up in Martinez, Georgia. The guy that wasn't there, so I had to keep going, and he didn't get his stuff. He's trying to meet me in Columbia today. So that's just something else that's going to take even longer to do. Hoping it doesn't hold me up too much, because he's already held me up enough. I really don't want him to hold me up anymore. But yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out now too. All right, see you in a bit. So yeah, this is downtown Columbia right here. I've got a couple stops in downtown, but they're not on the truck today. So this is probably all we're gonna see of downtown Columbia. I will be going to Wilmington, North Carolina on this route. So I'm gonna show you guys Wilmington. It's really cool. There's another city, I think it's called Surf City, North Carolina, and it's really cool too. It's right on the beach. Sometimes I go there. I'm not going this time, but I went last week. It kind of reminds me of Clearwater, you know, where Tampa Bay is in Florida, Clearwater, Florida. Because you go over this bridge and then you're in like the resort. You're on the resort strip thing. Because it's kind of like an island, sort of. You got to take a bridge to get there. And it's not nearly as big as Clearwater, but I mean, it kind of reminds me of it, because you come over from the mainland on a bridge, and the bridge goes up high in the air, and you're kind of looking down on the town itself with all the resorts and stuff that are on the beach. But we will be going to Myrtle Beach tomorrow, which, you know, I don't ever really get. I go through the city of Myrtle Beach, but I don't go to the beach or anything, you know. I'm too busy working to actually enjoy it, but I do go through there. Sometimes I get close enough to see the ocean at Myrtle Beach, which is kind of cool. I went there on vacation a couple years ago with my family. We stayed at the Crown Reef Resort and it was really nice. Had a really good time staying there. But yep. Right now we're headed to the northwest part of Columbia, which means we're going to be getting on I-26 just up here, and we've got one stop up here. I'm thinking that guy that's wanting to meet me, he's probably going to call me sometime when I'm up here. But all the rest of the stops, there's only 4 of them, and the rest of them are all on the eastern side of Columbia. I know that we had 8 altogether in Columbia, which we've already done 3 of them. So we got 5 left in Columbia that I absolutely have to get done today. But I learned something today. I learned that I don't need to leave the warehouse until 3, at least 3, maybe 3:30 in the morning, because if I leave earlier than that, I'm going to end up having to wait on some of these places to open up, because it's really unfortunate that guy wasn't there at the second stop, because now, you know, like I already said, he's going to end up possibly slowing me down because he's coming to meet me. But at least he is coming to meet me, and at least they weren't like, well, too bad, you got to hit that one up on your way back when you're at the end of your route. Welcome back to midday, guys. It's almost noon 30. We've got 2 stops left in Columbia. Now, I want to briefly go over something before we head to this Latino supermarket, and I'll show you some fancy moves with this rig here. This is actually the best scenario that I've had thus far with this route and doing these Columbia stops. Now, I have had more stops in Columbia than I have today, but maybe only a couple more, because there's usually about 8 to 10 stops in Columbia. But I'll tell you what I did. I rearranged my stops. So I laid everything out on the GPS as far as distance and everything, and I based it off of the shortest amount of distance from stop to stop, when before it was actually based on the store hours. So each stop was based on the store hours, based on, you know, what opens the earliest and what closes the latest. And that's how it was laid out before. But when you have it laid out like that, you're actually zigzagging all over Columbia all day, and it takes so much longer to get it done when you do it like that. But there is an issue with this route, and this is what I wanted to talk about. See, ideally, I should be out of Columbia before I finish my shift today, because according to them, the people at work, the previous driver would get all the Columbia stops done, and he'd still somehow have enough time to get to Myrtle Beach on day 1. And I don't see how that's physically possible. So I've arranged it that way, and it worked out really good, and I can tell that I'm getting it done a lot faster, but I'm still not going to have enough time to get to Myrtle Beach. I might be able to get a little bit closer, but I'm not going to get all the way to Myrtle Beach. I mean, if I could get to Florence, I'd be doing good. But see, the thing is, I've got stops in between here and Florence, and if I stop to deliver at those stops, then I would definitely run out of time, and I can't be running out of time. So I'm probably gonna have to stay in Columbia again, which means that I'm gonna finish my shift before my 14-hour limit, and I'll be able to start earlier in the morning, but at the same time, it's gonna cause problems toward the end of the route. Because normally what I'll do is, like I said, I've been stopping and staying in Columbia on day 1. And then on day 2, I get up and I do the stops between here and Myrtle Beach, and then I'll work my way up the coast, and usually I'll get to Wilmington, North Carolina, and stay there on night 2 of the route. But then on day 3, I'm turning around and I'm driving all the way back to Atlanta. But on the way, I'm having to veer off here into this city and veer off there into that city and make the remaining stops on the way back. And so what's happening is on day 3, I'm actually running out of time. I'm not having enough time in that 14-hour span to drive the necessary miles to get back to Atlanta and make the stops. I just don't have enough time to do it if I'm, you know, coming back from Wilmington. There's just not enough time in a 14-hour period. So what I've been doing in the past 2 times I've done the route is I've been having to stay out on Saturday to finish the route. And I'll have just enough time left on my 70-hour clock to finish the route and get back before I run out of hours for the week. Well, guys, I am sick and tired of working on Saturday. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I resigned from my last job, is because I didn't want to work on Saturday anymore. Well, lo and behold, they put me on this route, and I'm working on Saturdays because that's the only way I've been able to get it done, is to just finish up on Saturday and then go home, you know, Saturday just before noon or in the afternoon, or heck, even last week I didn't even get home until like 5 or 6 o'clock Saturday night. And I had to come back to work early Monday morning. I had just barely had enough time to take a 34-hour reset before I came back to work this week. So I haven't really had the time off that I need. Like with this job, you have to have at least 2 days off a week. You're working so hard, you need 2 days a week to rest your body. You really do. With a regular truck driving job, no, 34 hours is good. After 70 hours, you can do that. I don't see. I don't like doing that. I never like doing that. I don't see how anybody would like to do that. But you can do that, and it's not as bad. But when you're actually doing manual labor and you're only getting 34 hours to reset, it's tough. It's hard. So I've got to, you know, I've been trying to communicate with them and let them know, hey, this route, it should really be a 4-day route. This route should start on Tuesday instead of starting on Wednesday. And I've only got 25 stops this time. Well, last week I had 29 stops. I mean, it can actually go up to like 30 stops. They'll put as much stuff on the trailer as they can fit, all while keeping the weight legal, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they can put up to 39,000 pounds on this trailer before it's overweight. And, you know, if it's something like that, then you're not going to be able to get that done in 3 days. Nobody can. It's not possible. Maybe if you had a helper or something, but you guys see that seat right there is empty. I don't have a helper. I'm on my own. And, well, it's tough. It is what it is. But I know one thing, I'm not going to work on the weekends anymore. And I'm dang sure I'm not going to do this job on Saturdays. I need my Saturdays off. And I have a family too that you know, they miss me. They want me around on Saturday. I want to be with them on Saturday. So I didn't see my family all week. Normally, I'll come home at least once in the middle of the week to spend the night at my house. But I didn't even get to do that last week. And it has a lot to do with mechanical issues with the trucks that I've been driving, which, you know, if you guys saw my last video, then that's where I actually left off. In that video, I left you guys sitting at a Piggly Wiggly with a broken transmission. Well, they put me in a different truck after that that supposedly had a brand new engine in it. But when I got back from my route last weekend, or not last weekend, it was 2 weeks ago, I got back from my route and my power steering pump had been leaking. I mean, I had been putting fluid in it, like a bunch of fluid. It just kept leaking. So as soon as I got back to the warehouse, we opened the hood to check and see where it was coming out at. And we looked in the coolant reservoir behind the radiator, and there was oil in the coolant reservoir, which could only mean, you know, as far as I know, I'm not a mechanic, but as far as I know, that could mean one of two things. Either you got a blown head gasket, or you got a cracked engine block. So that truck that they gave me after the one with the broken transmission, that one was broken too. So I went through 2 trucks in 2 weeks. They both broke down. I was trying to drive the second one with no power steering fluid, because by the time I got back to Atlanta, I was out of power steering fluid. And I was trying to drive the truck like that, and I didn't have anywhere to stop and get any. You guys know how hard it is to drive a car with no power steering. Try driving a truck. It's impossible. It really is. But anyway, you guys think I talk too much? I do talk too much, but you know what? We're here. We're right around the corner from the place. Now, supposedly you can drive around the opposite side of the building, but because I don't know what's back there, I don't like taking the risk, and I don't want to get stuck. So I'll show you how I get into this place. It used to be easier than it is currently, and it's because they put a stupid dumpster in the freaking way, which makes it harder to do this, what I'm about to do, but it's not impossible to do it. I did it last week, so I can do it again this week. Thankfully, this isn't a very busy shopping center. It gets a little bit busy, but it's not too bad. You gotta watch the foot traffic around you. You gotta watch the entrances where the cars could potentially come in at. But I'm about to back around this corner on the back side of this building. I gotta readjust. That car screwed me up. It's like in the worst possible position. Dude, you're not even in a dang parking spot right there, first of all. Alright, I just got to get the back end of the trailer angled out some. That did it. So I'm going to come around this corner. I don't know how good you guys can see that dumpster in my mirror. That dumpster wasn't there a few weeks ago. They just put it right there. And you might be able to do this without doing what I'm doing. You might be able to get back here, but like I said, I don't know what's on the other side of that building, and I don't feel like taking the risk of getting stuck on the other side of that building. I do got to get kind of close to that dumpster, but I'm too close to it right now, so I got to come off of it just a tad. That's better. The goal is to hook the back of the trailer around that dumpster because it's a sharp turn. Because that dumpster's right there, I'm having to come out this way further to get around it, which means that it's inevitable for me to hit the tree branches right here. But that's just how it is, just how it goes. I went a little bit too wide. I'm gonna have to come forward now, straighten it up a little bit. Don't hit the tree, Jared. Hit the tree branches, but not the tree. See, I swung too wide that time. Now I'm too far over on this side. So, I gotta fix that. Because there's another dumpster back there in the way. Okay. See, there's a pad of concrete. I'm pointing right at it. I don't know if you guys can see it. The concrete's right there in front of the dock. The asphalt is on the outside. As long as my passenger side tandems right there are on the outside of that concrete, I know I'm not going to hit that dumpster that's behind me on the driver's side, so I know I'm good. Otherwise, if I didn't know that, then I would get out and look before I do this, but I know I'm not going to hit it because I know where it's at. I've been here enough times to know. See, I come back around, you see how much clearance I have right there. It's about 2 feet maybe, but I'm gonna have to get closer to the dumpster now. And they've got just pallets just piled back here blocking the dock. I have to get pretty close to this dumpster, but I don't want to get too close to it. I think I'm too close to it. When I start to straighten out, I might hit it. So I'm gonna come forward and correct that. See, right now I'm sitting at an angle, and I want to try to straighten up a little bit more, but in order to do that, I gotta watch this dumpster, because I'm real close to it. You guys are gonna see how close I am, but you have to get close to it. You see how close I am to that dumpster? I mean, inches away from it. But that's how you get into this dock. Alright, we're in. Just gotta lower my lift gate, and then we're good with this one. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so like I was saying before, I really didn't want to stay in Columbia tonight because it would just hold me up, and I had a couple of hours left when I left Columbia. So I looked it up and found out that there's a hotel in Sumter, where my next stop is, that takes the reservation card that I have to get the hotel rooms. And they do have truck parking, and they have vacancy. They have rooms available. So I went ahead and reserved me a room in Sumter. But then I also figured out that I have enough time because the hotel is not far from the bakery where I have to deliver. I also figured out that I have enough time to go ahead and get that done before I end my shift today. So we're about to do that one, and then that'll make 11 stops for the day. And that'll put me ahead. Now, I'm not going to be like really far ahead, but it is definitely going to save me some time tomorrow, because whenever I start tomorrow, I'm going to drive straight to Lake City, hit that stop, and then I'm going to go to Pawleys Island, hit that stop, and then I'm going to start making my way up the coast. So, you know, it's just a matter of how much time it's actually going to save me. Now, it takes about 45 minutes to get from Columbia to Sumter, and it takes me probably about 20 minutes to do this stop that I'm about to do. So that's going to take over an hour out of my, you know, shift tomorrow, that you know, something that would have taken me an hour to do, I'm just go ahead and get it done today. So that'll put me an hour ahead tomorrow, at least an hour, probably a little bit more than an hour ahead tomorrow, which is going to help in the long run. Now, what I really wanted to do, yeah, I got some really noisy brakes, I know. What I really wanted to do was try to get back down to Florence tomorrow. So I was going to go up the coast all the way to Wilmington, and then turn around and try to get back to Florence tomorrow. If I could do that, shoot, I'd get it done early on Friday. Well, maybe not like super early, but I would get done at a reasonable time. You know, I'd get back to Atlanta at a reasonable time on Friday. But the thing is, I don't think I'm going to have enough time to get back down to Florence tomorrow. It's too far. It's just too far. But depending on how fast I can get the stops done, it's not like it's going to take, it's not going to exceed my driving clock to do that, but I'm going to be doing quite a bit of stops tomorrow. So it's going to, the working time, the on-duty not driving time is what's going to eat into my clock. Now I do have 3 hours to work before I actually start eating into my driving time, but I'm going to be doing probably at least 10 stops tomorrow. I don't know exactly how many I'm going to be doing tomorrow, but quite a bit, enough to where it's going to start eating into my driving clock. Now if I can spare about 8 hours, then I might still be able to do it. I just have to see how far away it is. I'm gonna go over this stuff when I get to my hotel room. I'm gonna look at the stops that I have to do in North Carolina. They repaved this road. Like, they must have repaved this road since last week, because I don't remember having this fresh blacktop on it. And this place that we're headed to, it's another place where I kind of have to back in from off of the street. So I was gonna get that. The good thing about it is the street is not that busy, but the entrance slash exit that I'm backing into the parking lot is kind of busy, and cars will try to exit the parking lot on that side whenever I'm trying to back in. They see me trying to back in and they don't care. They'll get right behind me. They'll cross paths with the rear end of my trailer while I'm backing up, which is really stupid and really dangerous, and it's a good way to get hit by a truck. And I just don't see, you know, it's almost like, well, I'm not going to compare it to something on this level, but it's almost like when you see vehicles crossing railroad tracks when the freaking crossing arms are down and the red lights are flashing. Like, you see me coming back with a big trailer, you see my lights flashing, you hear the annoying backup buzzer going off on my truck, and you're still gonna cross paths with me and try to drive right behind me while I'm backing up. It really just beats all I've ever seen. It's so ridiculous, but people do it. There's nothing I can do about it except try to watch out for it. And, you know, I can only see so much sitting in this truck backing up. There's only so much of my surroundings that I can actually see, and those cars will come from out of my line of sight, so I can't actually see them. And before I know it, you know, they could be right behind me while I'm backing up, and I have to brake hard. I mean, I'm not going that fast, but still I have to hit the brakes kind of hard to keep from hitting them. And I can't tell how close I am to them when they're directly behind me like that. I can't tell. But this is it right here. We're gonna back in. There's a stupid garbage can right there. I'm gonna have to move that crap. That's in my way. I got vehicles coming this way, at least one of them. So I got to do this kind of quick, but still take my time at the same time. There's a tree right there. I don't want to hit that tree. So the key is to not go too far over that way, because there's a telephone pole right there. So gotta clear that telephone pole before I can start to get back in the right position. Which I'm kind of too close to that telephone pole right now, actually. But if I can keep it straight. This one's kind of hard to do. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. This is not gonna work. I'm gonna have to try it again. And let the, if there's any cars behind me, I'm gonna have to let them pass me. Okay, we're good. But here comes a freaking car right now. And see, that's what I mean. They'll come out the exit while I'm trying to back into it. They'll just come right out of it. It usually takes me a couple tries to get this. This one's not easy at all. There's a mailbox over there too. See that mailbox? So it's like the power line or the telephone pole, then the stake with the cables right there, and then there's that stupid mailbox. So I gotta like dodge all those things without hitting anything. Alright guys, so yeah, like I just moved about come on, I'm waiting on you. I just moved about 1,550 pounds in about 20 minutes. I didn't realize they were getting 30 bags of flour and sugar, like cake mix, but they did. They got a lot this time. But yeah, like, so needless to say, I'm improving with the physical part of it too. Like, I'm getting quicker with the actual handling of the products. I'm getting pretty quick with it. Well, I mean, probably not the quickest, but definitely a lot faster than I was even like 4 weeks ago. I'm getting used to it. It's to where it's like not such a big deal anymore. I mean, like I said before, I moved those 90 bags earlier this morning, and it took me about 45 minutes to do that, and that was dang near 5,000 pounds. All that stuff that first stop in Colombia got. So I think that's pretty reasonable. I wouldn't try to push it much harder than I already do with that. I mean, maybe over an extended period of time I could get quicker with it, but I'm not trying to like kill myself. It's also August and it's hot as crap outside, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, I had like 45 minutes left on my 14-hour clock, and our hotel is, or my hotel is like 2 miles away from here. So that was a good idea for me to do that. It really was. It's gonna help a lot tomorrow that, you know, that's already taken care of. It's done. I don't have to worry about it. Why throw 30 bags tomorrow when you can throw them today? Welcome to my room, guys. Got a nice little desk right here. Eating my dinner, going over some stuff. So I want to show you guys the route that, you know, if everything goes well tomorrow, in theory, I should have enough time to do. I'm sorry it's not focusing. I hope you guys can see that. I know it's small, I'm sorry. So right now I'm over here, I'm in Sumter, and basically that first stop right there, that's where I'm headed first thing in the morning. I'm gonna try to be there at 5. Okay, then I'm coming down to Pawleys Island, which is down here, and then there's 2 stops right around there in Myrtle Beach that I have to hit up. There's 2 more in between. Well, actually there's 3 more in between Myrtle Beach and Wilmington. Wilmington is right here. I know it's all blurry. I've only got 2 in Wilmington. So that's, well, altogether it's like 9 stops, okay? So if I can get those 2 in Wilmington done, then Florence is all the way over here. So basically I have to drive, you know, up and then back down to Florence. Now I'll be starting at like 3:30 in the morning, and so I have to be in Florence. I have to be at that hotel in Florence by 5:30 tomorrow night. By the way, one last thing, I just added up how much weight I took off that trailer today, and it adds up to 14,781 pounds. That's how much I got off today out of like 29,918 pounds. So I got over half of the weight off of the trailer today in the first day. So that's going to help save fuel too. And yeah, that's a lot of weight to move. I'm not trying to brag, I'm just saying that's a lot of weight for one person to move in 14 hours plus driving. You know, that's a lot. That's a lot. My back hurts. All right, I'm going to bed. I'll see you guys in the morning. Thanks for watching. Morning, guys. Okay. So it's about 3:45, and I'm about to head to Lake City, South Carolina. This is what I look like with the GoPro on my head and the headset. It's ridiculous. Lake City, South Carolina. Sorry. Just to give you guys an idea, you know how I was saying in an earlier video that sometimes I have to go to some places where it's just like, what the heck? Like, this would be tight for a box truck. Well, this place is like that. And it might not be so bad this morning because it's so early, but a lot of times I'm not coming through here early. I'm coming through here like mid-morning, and so if that's the case, then there's always a lot of cars parked in this parking lot up here. So I gotta go around to the back of the building, but you know, because of that, I'm not like parking out on the street. I'm parking in a parking lot behind the place. So the bakery's like one of these buildings right here, and I gotta go back around on the back side of it. To their parking lot, which is right here. And it's like I said, it's not gonna be too bad this morning, but when there's cars back here, man, it's pretty messed up. And I don't think anybody's here yet, so I might be sitting here for a bit. I don't know how long. They're supposed to be here at 5. It's almost 5 now, so I'm a few minutes early, but I'm not real early. I don't guess it's that bad because you're just pulling straight through the parking lot, but still, I mean, when you got cars and stuff back here, it's pretty tight back here. And it's not good that I'm having to sit here and wait because I'm still trying to wake up. And I don't need to just sit here, you know. So yeah, let's see what happens. Okay guys, you guys are my witness. I got here a little bit early. Got here about 7 minutes early. It's 5:15. There's nobody here to get their stuff. I'm about to leave because I'm not waiting. I'm not wasting my time. The sales rep for this stop told me yesterday. Well, first of all, he was like, well, they don't come in until 6. So don't get there before 6. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I can wait and get there at 6. And he was like, well, I talked to the guy that owns the place, and he said, if you want to come in earlier than that, then I can arrange that. So I was like, yeah, I mean, the earlier the better. As long as I can take my 10-hour break, I should be fine. The earlier the better, though, because of traffic and stuff. Especially now because school is back in. But so anyway, he sent me a text and he said, okay, somebody will be there at 5 in the morning. And I was like, okay. He's like, just plan on getting there at 5. So I was like, all right, I can do that. I got here at 5. I got here before 5. There's nobody here. But not only that, after he told me yesterday, just get there at 5 and somebody will be there, I sent him a message back a little bit later and I was like, are you 100% sure that somebody's going to be here? Before I start my clock, I need to know for sure that somebody's going to be at this stop when I get there at 5. And he was like, yeah, the guy gave me his word that he would be there. Well, where's he at? He's not here. So I'm leaving. I don't have time to wait on these people. Your word doesn't mean much if you don't keep it. And I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but I have to be greedy with my time doing this route because I don't have the necessary extra time to get it done. I just don't. I mean, what I'm saying is I don't have any extra time outside of the available time that I have. There is no extra time. I mean, I barely have enough time to do it. So I can't invest more than, you know, so much of that time on waiting for people. I've only got so much. And if I don't, you know, get each stop knocked out within a certain amount of time, I'm not going to make it home for the weekend. I'm not going to make it home by Saturday or by the end of Friday. It's not going to happen. I'm not missing my weekend and screwing my weekend up, my time with my family and my time off to rest because these people aren't coming in when they say they're going to come in. That's on them. That's their mistake, not mine. You snooze, you lose. And the thing is, it's not going to be cheap to a lot of times if we miss stops on our routes, we have smaller trucks that'll come and deliver the stuff. They call them hot shot trucks. They're just small van type trucks that we use to make those supplemental drops, usually on the weekend. But the thing is, this place is out here. I mean, we're an hour away from the coast at this point. So I don't think they're gonna get their stuff because this place is out here. They're gonna have to wait till next week to get their stuff, and they're gonna be mad. But it's their fault. You know, if they said they were gonna be here at 5 and they weren't here, it's their fault. And again, it all goes along with the fact that ordinary people do not understand that as truck drivers, we only have so much time to get our jobs done, and we don't, out of that so much time that we don't have any time to spare when it comes to stuff like this. If you want me to sit there and wait for more than 20 minutes on a customer to get to their store, then don't put so many stops on my route, or shorten the distance of my route so that I actually have time to do it with a little bit of extra time on the side to wait for the customers. That's all I'm saying. And see, now the sales rep, he's not going to wake up because I just tried to call him. I know he's not awake. He doesn't get up this early. He doesn't have to. But when he does wake up and he's got the place that I just left calling him, asking him where the heck I am, because they're probably going to come in at 6 o'clock and I'm not going to be there. So they're going to be calling him, wondering when they're going to get their stuff. And then he's going to call me and he's going to be like, oh, you think you can circle back through there on your way back down? And I'm going to tell him, no, I can't. I don't have time to do that. They should have been there when they said they were going to be there. And that's all I have to say about that. All right, we're heading into Pawleys Island. I wanted to get this. It's just pretty cool. You guys didn't realize that there are no interstates going to the coast. You got the I-95 corridor that goes up through South Carolina and North Carolina, but keep in mind that even once you get off of I-95 and you go east, you still got a good hour or so, maybe more or less, depending on where you are on 95. Man, that looks so cool over there. It's like a swamp. I know you guys can't see it, but it's like a swamp over there. Depending on where you are on 95, you're more or less an hour away from the coast still. So it takes a long time to get to the coast. In South Carolina, I mean, so I've been driving for over an hour. And I'm just now getting to US 17 Ocean Highway. So US 17 we're gonna take all the way up to Wilmington. All my stops are pretty much off of this road until we get to Wilmington, or actually until we get to South. Welcome back, guys. We're pushing 8:30 now, leaving Myrtle Beach. It's not going to be a very eventful time to go through Myrtle Beach this particular time doing this route, because I only had one stop here. I just finished it, so it's not really a whole lot of it's not really going to be a whole lot of stuff that I can show you. But we're here. The next city we're going to is called Longs, South Carolina. That's our last one in South Carolina for now, until we start heading back down. And I'm learning stuff. This is the first time I've done this route this early and came through to all these places this early, so I'm learning about what time these stores are opening. Not really their store hours, but really just what time the employees start to come in. And apparently the place I just left, they come in probably at about 8 o'clock, maybe 7:30. And so that's valuable information for me so that I can time it just right. I thought that I was gonna have to wait on them too, but it turns out they were there. I'm keeping track of my available driving hours as I work throughout the day, just to make sure if I am or am not gonna have enough time to get back to Florence after I'm done in Wilmington today. And so far it's looking decent. as long as it doesn't take too long to do the rest of these stops. I've got 6 stops left, and I've got about 4 hours that I can spare for all 6 of these stops. I'm still making pretty decent time doing this. I've been trying to call the sales rep for that store that I skipped this morning. I've been trying to call him all morning to find out what they want to do, but apparently he doesn't get up until 9 o'clock in the morning, so he's not answering his phone. I've been trying to call him since 5:30 this morning, and he's not answering his phone. Coming into Long, South Carolina now. It's not a bad ride whenever you're jumping straight on South Carolina 31 and heading north from Myrtle Beach, like before you get to the real touristy part of Myrtle Beach, because I got to bypass that this time. I don't always get to bypass it though. The place I'm going to next, the woman, she's really nice, and she always hooks me up with cookies. Like, I'm gonna get a dozen free cookies in a minute, like an assorted variety of cookies. Her specialty is cakes. She does cakes, but she makes cookies too, and she always gives me a dozen free cookies when I come here. So we get along pretty well, and she's really friendly and nice and everything, but there's one bad thing about this stop, and it's what I call piggybacking. So basically, sometimes we'll have orders that require us to go to deliver at one place, but lo and behold, when we get there, we find out that there's another customer that's piggybacking off of that customer. That's what I call it. That's what I nicknamed it, piggybacking. So where basically they don't order enough stuff to get it delivered to them, because you got to spend a certain amount of money to get your stuff delivered to you. So instead of buying enough stuff to get it delivered, they will put their stuff on another customer's order. Say they're friends with that particular bake shop or whatever. They'll put their stuff on that other customer's order, and then that other customer's like, hey, by the way, will you go take this stuff to that other store? Because this isn't my stuff, they just put it on my order. And the reason why they do that, like I said, is because they don't want to spend enough money to get it delivered. So it's like they're cheating the system. That's all fine and good. Like, that doesn't affect me. The only reason why it affects me is because of time, because then I have to make an extra stop for a customer that didn't even order enough stuff to get it delivered to them, which takes extra time, and it's just annoying. It's like, so really I don't have 25 stops on this route. I have 26 stops because there's a customer that does that here, but you know, today I'm just gonna have to tell her, look, I'm sorry, I would deliver to this guy and take him his donuts and stuff, but because I'm in a hurry, I'm trying to, you know, get as far as I can today, he's gonna have to come get them from your store. I can't do it today, I don't have enough time. So I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna see what she says. She might not give me my cookies. We'll find out. So yeah, like I said, I just had to tell the lady in there that I couldn't do that today. Why? It's not because I don't have enough time to do it, it's because I want to go home this weekend. So I need to try to find ways of making that possible, you know. But like I said, she's really, really nice, really friendly. And guess what, guys? I got my cookies! She still gave them to me. So I'm happy about that. Those cookies are good. I look forward to getting those cookies each week, because that's like my snack food from like for the remainder of my route. I'm gonna be snacking on those cookies, which also saves time because then I don't have to stop and grab snacks and stuff. She hooked me up with a water too. So now we're headed to Charlotte, North Carolina, which, you know, when I heard that name, I was taken back, actually, because you don't hear that name Charlotte, like Shallotte. I think that's how you spell it, Charlotte, North Carolina. It took me back to yes, I'm a truck driver, and I'm saying this. It took me back to Lorena McKinnett, and it took me back to Anne of Green Gables. Yeah, I just said that. Because of that whole poem thing. And I don't know the actual literature of it, but I know it's an old poem from Europe. Like probably even like the Renaissance. It's like classic literature. It's called The Lady of Shalott. And I was wondering, I was like, either, by the way, either you know what I'm talking about or you have no freaking clue what I'm talking about and you really don't care, but I am gonna mention it. So I was wondering, you know, is the town based off of Shalott, like the medieval story, the medieval literature? And I was like, nah, man, this is North Carolina, there's no way. But then I got to the town, and apparently some people think that it must be, because there's a shopping center that I will pass on my way into town on US 17 Business, and the town is literally like the shopping center in the town is literally like done up in Renaissance like style. Like it's got the whole Sherwood Forest looking theme to it. Like it's got the cedar plank shingles on it, and the Gothic windows, like the windows with the Gothic arches. And so apparently somebody appreciates the name of their town, and apparently somebody appreciates classic literature. I don't know that we're gonna pass the shopping center that I'm talking about, but yeah, the name of the town, for all I know, it could be based off of the Lady of Shalott. Because wasn't Shalott also like the Robin Hood thing? Like, wasn't Robin Hood from Shalott? Does anybody know? Or was that just like Sherwood Forest? But like, is Shalott and Sherwood Forest, are they related in any kind of way at all? I think I'm gonna Google that. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Welcome back, guys. We're rolling into Wilmington now. We've got 2 stops left for the day. Still not sure if I'm gonna make it back all the way to Florence. I'm gonna try. As long as I can finish what I'm doing here in the next 2.5 hours, I don't think it'll be a problem because these last two stops up here, they're really close together. The second one, like I said, is the cookie place. They've got a whole pallet of frozen that's gonna have to come off of the truck. I'm not gonna be pulling the stuff off through the freezer door on the side that I showed you earlier in the video. I'm gonna move that insulating pad and I'm gonna pull the whole pallet off. I'll show you that, and you guys can see the trailer again, and what it looks like at this point after, you know, nearly 2 full days of straight up work. The first place I'm going to is a bakery, and it's right down the street from the cookie place. I think I did pretty good today, minus the stop that I had to skip because the guy wasn't there. The sales rep, I don't know if I already said this or not, but the sales rep finally called me back about that, and he was like, yeah, the guy said that he showed up there at 5:15 and you weren't there. And I was just like, I beg to differ, because, you know, I got there before 5. I was there for almost half an hour waiting on the guy. So if he got there, it had to have been after 5:30. It would have had to have been. But, you know, the sales rep just told the guy, look, he was there this morning, he was waiting on you, and you weren't there when you said you would be. So if you want your stuff, you're gonna have to meet up with the driver somewhere. If not, you're gonna have to wait till next week. But this is Wilmington, and when you're coming up into Wilmington from US 17, you actually get this really cool shot of the city. You come across a bridge, and this is a port town. It's almost like well, I mean, I can't really compare it to like Baltimore or a huge city like that, but I mean, it's kind of like that, where it's like, you know, Baltimore or Charleston, where it's kind of industrial. It's got a lot of bridges, it's got ports, it's got railroad stuff going on. And when you're coming up into it from US 17, you get a really cool shot of the downtown area of the city. It's actually kind of nice looking, kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm coming in from a different direction than I usually come in. The only reason why I'm filming right now is because I want to show you guys how I get into this place. It's like country fried. I mean, it's like, wow. And I just hit a tree branch. That Toyota in front of us, I just made them mad because they can't see. They're trying to do a U-turn, I guess, and they can't see the cars coming now, so they're frustrated because I'm in a big truck and I'm blocking their view. I wouldn't try to do a U-turn right there unless I had a green arrow. There's too many people coming down the road. But they pulled all the way out because they're impatient. Now they're blocking the intersection. Oh, got my green arrow. I'm gonna go. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, I appreciate it. Alright, so the place is down there. I'm gonna go around the back side of the building. They don't have a dock or anything, but I want to be facing that way. When I leave. So I looked at this place on Google Earth, and watch this, you guys. You make your turn to get behind the building right here, but boom, there's a freaking telephone pole in the way. So what the crap you got to do? Well, if you look on Google Earth, you can see the tire prints on the grass right there where trucks do this. This is what I mean about some country fried crap right here. You go off in the grass, and that's how you get around that telephone pole. Just like that. You watch the dumpster on the other side, and then boom, you're back here. Okay, you guys remember what the back of that trailer looked like at the beginning of yesterday. Now come look at it. Stuff for them right here, and I've got a pallet of frozen stuff. It's all cookie dough. I'm gonna get the frozen off first, since I got all these pallets out of my way for the moment. Getting all those. I'm gonna pull that out with the pallet jack. Really got that pallet wedged in there good. It's gonna be kind of hard to get this out of here. There we go. It's coming now. So like I was saying, I gotta drop this pallet down off the trailer. And I basically gotta walk it down the block, like through that parking lot to the other side, to their front door where I can start unloading it. All right, grabbing that other pallet now. This one shouldn't be as tedious. As you can imagine, if you're unloading 25 stops worth of stuff, you're gonna accumulate some trash. The real key is to keep it all neat and somewhat organized without spending too much time doing that. That's what I got left to unload. Wish me luck. Okay, guys. We're done with North Carolina. I've got 2 hours and 9 minutes to get to the hotel. I've already made a reservation. I've got 4 hours and 21 minutes left on my clock. Gonna try to do one more stop. It's in Florence where I'm staying. I'm gonna try to knock it out today because I got that sales rep calling or sending me messages now telling me that the guy that wasn't there this morning when I got there is trying to meet up with me somewhere tomorrow, which is not really gonna work because I'm gonna be too far away from where he lives, you know. That was leaving Wilmington. You guys saw that big iron bridge we just crossed over. It's pretty cool. And I know you guys probably can't see it, but there's like cypress trees to the right and swamps and stuff because it's so low landed here. It's a pretty interesting area. What's up, guys? In the room, the hotel room, end of day 2. Well, sort of the end of day 2. I'm waiting on the first stop from today. He's coming from Lake City all the way up here to Florence to get his stuff. I've been here for several hours, and the guy, he's supposed to be showing up soon. So when he does, I've got to go down there and help him get his truck packed up with all this stuff. I'm up on the 3rd floor of the room here. So, you know, I should have already been in bed asleep, but now, because I'm having to wait on this guy, I'm just waiting on him to get here. We're gonna get that knocked out, and then I'm gonna come back up here, take a shower, and pass out. And you know, I was hoping to start kind of early tomorrow. It's not imperative that I do. Like I pretty much nailed it today. Like I killed it out there. I've got time to finish and make it back tomorrow. I wanted to get back like before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and just be able to go home early for a change on Friday and have my whole weekend. And I might still be able to do that, but the thing is, I should already be asleep right now if I'm going to start early in the morning. But I'm waiting on this guy. I mean, he's not going to get here. It's almost 8 o'clock, and I know that doesn't seem late, but when you are used to getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, it's pretty late to stay up, and I'm tired. So as soon as he gets here, we're going to take care of that, and then I'll get back with you guys in the morning. By the way, this is a pretty nice room here. It's a Comfort Inn. There's 2 of them in Florence. This is the one on Woody Jones Parkway. It's pretty nice. No complaints. It's a pretty clean room. It's got a nice walk-in shower, fridge and microwave and stuff. Walk-in shower in here. Some of these hotels I stay at are actually pretty nice. Pretty cool. All right. See you guys later. Morning, guys. I got my morning voice going on. Trying to be quiet. Trying to get out of here too. Taco Bell, energy drink. Just making sure I'm not forgetting anything. Happy Friday. Let's get this done so I can go home. Update time. back with you. It's 10:30, day 3. We've got one stop left. We are, well, before my signal just dropped out because I'm out in the middle of no freaking where. We had about 45 minutes until we get to the next stop. If that's the last wood, that one is on the east side of Augusta, so it's like, it's probably more like south of North Augusta, which that is an actual city. It's called North Augusta, but it's in South Carolina. Well, this city is south of that city. It's called Clearwater, South Carolina. And it's a pretty decent size drop. It's got about 40 pieces. It's mostly bags. I just wanted to do I'm probably gonna do a closer here and let you guys go. I know you're tired of watching. If you've made it this far, awesome. I don't really expect that anybody made it this far along into the video, but if you did, then you made it to the end. And you're probably thinking, what kind of narcissist really thinks that people are going to watch videos like this? Just a guy talking while he's driving a truck. And you've got a good point, but I don't do it for people to watch, and I've explained this before. And I'm not a narcissist. I just like to bring the camera with me and just make note of things as I work. It just helps my brain function better. There's just something about it. Like, if I can maybe I should have been a news reporter, I don't know. But if I can, you know, explain the situation of what's going on and get it on film or whatever, and I can share my thoughts, then it always makes me feel a little bit better. I feel like I'm less alone than I really am when I'm out here doing my job. I think there might be a small select handful of people that actually find this entertaining, and if so, then that's awesome. There's usually, I'm pretty sure it's the same person that does it each time, but somebody usually leaves at least one thumbs up on each one of my videos. Not all of them, but a lot of them. They'll leave a thumbs up, so that just lets me know that, hey, at least one person likes this stuff. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a narcissist. I just like to film. I like to talk. I like putting videos up on YouTube, even though the audience retention sucks. I don't pay attention to any of that. I'm not trying to like grow my channel or anything like that. I'm just adding content to it, and I'm telling my story. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, if you haven't been to my channel like within the last 4 weeks or so, go check it out, because I redid my channel. I redid Faith for Freight. I reorganized all my videos so that they actually do tell my story since I became a truck driver. And keep in mind that I was a YouTuber before, well before I even became a truck driver. I was on YouTube, and before YouTube existed and I was a kid, I loved to film. We had one of those big giant VHS camcorders when I was a kid, and I would go out in my backyard and I would film because I liked it. I enjoyed doing it. Well, the cameras got smaller, but my urge to film did not. So I'm still doing it. And YouTube is just a vehicle, if you will, for me to, you know, make these silly little videos. Well, they're not little, but to make these silly videos and put them out there for whomever might want to see them. And I know it's ridiculous, and they're super long, and there's nothing professional about it. And unless you're me or you're somebody that finds it entertaining, I know that these could be really boring, and that's why my channel hasn't grown. That's why nobody watches my videos, is because they're boring. I get that. I'm not a producer for network television. I'm not a Hollywood film director. I'm a truck driver with a camera. And I work like 65 hours a week most of the time. I get bored doing this. So like I said, the camera just helps me share my thoughts. It makes me feel better about it. It makes me feel like I'm less alone when I'm doing my job. The only other thing I want to say before I let you go is that I'm kind of proud of myself right now. Again, I'm not trying to brag, but this is my 4th time doing this route. And the previous 3 times I've done it, I struggled with it a lot. But then I got my hands on the route sheet, the manifest, the order of the stops, a GPS, and I sat down and I took some real time and I tried to figure out the best way to do this route, the best way to run it, which involves some experimenting for sure. But I've definitely, I'm sorry, I can't stop yawning. I've definitely made some improvements with the choices that I've made in the way that I've laid out the order of the stops and everything else. I was pretty impressed with how quick I got day 1 done and the amount of stops that I did get done on day 1. I was pretty impressed with that, and it helped a lot. This is actually the first time I'm finishing this route on a Friday without skipping any stops. I've got all 25 stops taken care of, and I've got plenty of time to get back to Atlanta. And I'm running ahead of schedule so much that I'm gonna finish early today. You know, knock on imaginary wood, I won't have any holdups or setbacks or anything messing up with the truck or anything else like that. And I'm actually gonna get back to Atlanta at about 2 or 2:30 this afternoon, and I'm gonna get to go home and start my weekend early. This is the first time I've ever been able to do that. This is the first time I've ever actually felt like I've got things under control with this route. So I'm definitely progressing. I'm definitely learning. But see, I'm taking everything that I've gathered, all the knowledge that I've gathered, all the little fine details that you have to remember about each stop. I'm finally taking it and using it to my advantage to get it done as quick as I can. And it's amazing, after you do something 2 or 3 times, it's amazing how much quicker you can get it done the 3rd or the 4th time you do it. It's pretty incredible. But that's my goal, is it's to be as efficient as possible, get the work done as quick as I can. Even though I get paid by the hour, I'm not going to try to take advantage of that. I'm going to still get it done as quick as I can, because I already work enough hours throughout the week that I don't have to worry about, you know, trying to squeeze extra time on the time clock out and milk it dry or anything like that. I don't have to do that. This week, when I get back, I will have probably only worked about 55 hours this week. And I've been working here for 8 weeks, and that's the first time I've worked 55 hours in a week. You know, I'm normally working at least 65 hours in a week, normally. So I'm pretty happy with that. It feels good because I have put in so much effort to learn how to do this job, and I'm finally making some progress with it, and it just feels good. It's like all my hard work that I've invested, all the struggling, all the frustration, all the, you know, even feeling hopeless about just being able to do the job, all that I've gone through in the past 8 weeks, it's paying off a little bit now, and it feels good that the job is finally, you know, rewarding me, where I could say, hey, I might actually be able to do this job, you guys. There's a lot of stuff about this job that's messed up, that's not right, that needs to be improved. But it's like that anywhere you work. Every job's got bad, negative things entailed in it. No job is perfect. And this is not a bad job if you're willing to work hard, really hard. Then this is not a bad job. And see, my thing is, when it comes down to it, if I had a choice, which I do have the choice, to do touch freight or no touch freight as a truck driver, I would rather do touch freight, because at least then I'm taking care of my body and I'm staying in shape, and I have more energy because I'm getting plenty of exercise. And I'm not just sitting there all day driving. I'm actually doing other stuff. And there's a balance to it. When you can balance that out, you're not driving too much, but you're also not working too much, like unloading too much, and there's actually a balance to it. It's nice. It's pretty nice. So anyway, I want to thank you again for watching my video, and I don't know when I'll be back. I'll see you guys later though. I'll definitely see you later. And take care. See you next time. All right.